What's up, y'all? Leeboy here from the Prime Nostalgia Podcast. Here with my co-host. You know, we got Prime in the building. He's the originator, the creator, the godfather of this thing we call nostalgia. At least I just gave him that crown. But yeah, we're here to talk. We got a little cool little episode today. In fact, something that I've been trying to do. This is a genre that's been near and dear to my heart for a long time, and a dope movie came out this week or just recently. Judas and the Black Messiah. So I wanted to talk about biopics in general, and we both came with our top five. Prime, you got your top five or what?
Yeah, I got my top five. I like biopics, so yeah, I got my top few.
I know you. I know you like biopics. We didn't talk about a few, so I'm willing to see, or actually anxious to see what type of crossover we have on our list, because I know there should be at least one or two that we might think is in the top five. So, in fact, with that, we can go ahead and just get started because we had our guy, Chauncey, Bryan Chauncey Bass, aka y'all should know him as Bryan from All That. He was also in Hardball. He had the sideways headband. He came on and talked about Judas and the Black Messiah with me. So let's just get into that, and then we'll get into our biopic conversation right here on the Prime Nostalgia Podcast. Yeah, I'm here with my guy Bryan Chauncey Bass, aka looking like Lakeith. No, I'm playing. Look, we just said, by the end of the segment, you're gonna hear I look like Daniel, he looked like Lakeith, and we're gonna redo a whole scene. I like the scene when when he go crazy. Yeah, when he was arguing by the car, when he told him, "You ain't ready." Look, Bill's trying to tell Fred that he ain't ready for the movement. And so, yeah, we might have to redo that. But yeah, we talking Judas and the Black Messiah right now.
Yes, sir. Revolutionary film, no pun intended.
The one thing I didn't know, because I knew Fred, we knew he got killed. I didn't know he was 21. Did you know he was 21 years old?
I didn't know he was 20.
That is the craziest part. One of the craziest parts. Because
my man was a baby, dog.
They knew they had to take his ass out because he was way too intelligent to be 21. Way too. Because when you got them young legs under you, it's different when you could talk it and walk it.
He was never gonna stop. Gonna stop. This man had rival gangs in Chicago at a ceasefire for the sake of Black unity. That's crazy.
And then another thing we learned was about that Rainbow Coalition, because we had heard I had heard about the term, but really, his outreach and literally standing, side by side with these people at rallies against the pigs. Look, man, that guy was ahead of his time, and that's, I think, them taking him out and taking others out in the Black Panthers stripped away the narrative.
Yeah.
It stripped away what they was really. It stripped away because we heard about the schools, we heard about the lunches, we heard a little bit about the medical facilities, but like they was like shooting people up to fight sickle cell in Oakland and all like next level stuff that literally embarrassed the government, and they had to like improve what they was doing based on these so-called radicals, making revolutionary changes to the hood. It's just It's just wild the reach though of the government and how they could just wipe all that away and just change the whole narrative. And
man,
that's why these movies are so important. That's why Judas and the Black Messiah is. I mean, it's going to be on the top biopics as far as revolutionaries, because this one it took a different stance. Like it really just put the government out there versus like, oh, we're going to tell the story of the revolutionary. No, this one was actually about the government's, their will to just eradicate everything going on, which is wild.
Yeah. It's crazy. I had a gripe in the beginning. As a Black man, I was like, yo, I wish they would have let us know, like, what was on my man's mind. Like, where was Fred? You know what I'm saying? I want to know about Fred. I want to know about Fred Hampton. But then I realized, the movie is called Judas and the Black Messiah for a reason. They wanted to show us Bill's struggle, being a Black man, being a crook, a bad crook, and having to be in this situation where, all right, I'm about to go to jail. They put me with the Black Panthers. And then having his struggle, having to see that struggle, and Lakeith, of course, did an amazing job.
That's my guy,
showing, I love these people. I love this guy. This is like, I'm learning about the plight of the black man and why I was in that situation in the first place, and like kind of forgetting, like, yo, I am a revolutionary. Yeah, we did it, y'all. But then having to wake up every day and look that white man in the face and remember I'm pretending.
Look, yeah, because he was getting further and further with his revolutionary mind, with his practices, and really believing in the struggle. And then every time, like you said, he got pulled back. And why couldn't he just walk away? He was so scared, man.
Town, bro. Like, what? I don't know.
How come he couldn't tell the Panthers? He couldn't.
That's what my wife was saying.
It's because they would have. Yeah, it's because all the stories of they would have bored his balls. Look, hey, I probably what would have I done? I don't know. Hopefully, I would have never been in that situation, but I would like to believe. But it's 5
years in jail versus like taking down or assisting in taking down the Black Panthers, the organization that's doing so much for your hood. I don't know, man. I would have probably said yes at first.
Yeah, and you find a way out of it. Look, I'd have been like, I'm gonna tell them immediately. Like, look, anything you want me to. No, look. You tell the cops when they hit you with the proposition, like, yeah, I'm down. I got you. Like, as soon as you see the Panthers, like, look, they told me to do this.
Now I'm a double agent.
Yeah, this is what they got going on. I can whatever y'all need. Look, this is the wire. We could play this whole thing. Look, we gonna play it. If y'all want me to leave right now, I'll leave. I'll never come back. But look, I'm out.
My man would have been a hero. He would have been a hero from the get, bro, if he did that.
Bro, you gotta be the double agent, man.
Double agent.
But how that have worked out for Eric Holder in the Nip situation? He would have just had to kill himself, or
yo, he needed it, man.
Oh no, man.
He need to kill himself, dog. I ain't even say all life.
You should have let Nipsey pop you. Yeah, you should have let Nipsey hit you. And then just be like, look, they told me to do it.
Yo, facts, man.
They told me. Or just drop the gun. Man. Look, just come up and drop it like, oh, shit.
Like, I didn't mean to.
I didn't even.
Look, y'all.
Yeah, I need backup. Look. Look, I would have. Hey, I can't be in jail, but I can't be running for life either. Because,
man, right.
You seen what happened to Bill O'Neal. He ended up taking his life.
Man. And that last little I still gotta watch that interview that documentary. It's on YouTube, so I gotta catch it. But
I seen it on a web or a YouTube page called The Real Black or Black Real, spelled REEL like a real.
Man, that little clip infuriated me and made me feel sorry. Like, I've never felt so much empathy for somebody I disliked in a movie before, but it's a real person. So to see that little last thing that they asked him, like, how was your son feel about all the things he did? He didn't even say words. He couldn't even formulate a sentence.
It wasn't a real thought. Yeah, like, it was just an excuse. Well, at least I was there, nigga. What you talking about? Like,
what?
You was this is only a situation because you was there, bro.
Right. What's crazy is when they burnt the joint down, that's what got me. When they burnt the joint down and Fred was in jail and the Panthers was, they were starting to like rally again. It was like, yo, we can do this. And they started to rebuild it. And he was the head of rebuilding the headquarters. I was like, bro, where are you in life right now? Where's your head at? Like, how do you really feel? You got to check in with yourself. And that's the thing that we have to do as Black men. We got to check in with ourselves. Cause yo,
you're doing the most, bro. Yeah, you're doing the most right there.
If he had taken the moment to be like, yo, I'm doing the most, he could have been like, all right. Either now I got to just take that 5 years. Take it. Cause like, what is it worth? People are getting shot. Your man's got shot. It was Shorty getting shot with the dude. They got arrested. Homegirl was pregnant. If she decided not to leave, we wouldn't even have a Fred Hampton Jr. If she was like, nah, give me the gun. And that's all on your head, Bill. Like, that's all on your hands. Like, come on.
Hey, and Lakeith, he played the hell out of that character, man. He's one of my favorite actors right now. Probably he's from San Bernardino too. I think that's why I look up to him. He's like, near from this area where I stay. So yeah, that's why I think I relate to him so much. But because I loved him in, I don't know if you ever seen Sorry to Bother Me.
Yes.
Sorry to Bother you.
Sorry
Yeah.
to bother you.
Yeah,
Yep.
that I love that
I fell
movie.
in love
Yeah.
with Lakeith in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm a Gambino fan. I'm a Donald Glover fan, so I'm watching anything he's doing.
Mhm.
I watched the show. I'm like, yo, this funny dude. And then I started to get mad because people started to say that I look like Lakeith. So sometimes I'll post a picture. That's why I grew the locks out. That was like the main reason I grew the locks out. Because people started, I post a picture on Instagram. They'd be like, yo, Lakeith. I'd be like, chill, bro. One time I performed in LA at this like little spoken word event. And the lady that threw it, she was like, give it up for Chauncey Bass looking like Lakeith. I was like, yo,
not like that.
But then seeing his growth as an actor, and as a person, he's a funny dude. He's woke, and you can't even hate the dude, bro.
Well, look at you, Lakeith. I'm over here on my Daniel Kaluuya. You know what I'm saying? We can do that.
We got to do the remake.
We should low key do a scene, bro.
That would be wild, bro.
Because I do get that every once in a while. They be like, you look like that one actor. You can never. Get out. Black Panther dude. Oh yeah. Michael B. Jordan? Nah, you wasn't talking about him. Huh? Nah.
That's we got to do a side by side.
Hey,
bro.
we low key. We got that coming. And also, you know what? You did pause the episode really quick. I would be remiss without pausing just to send a word of prayer to everybody in Texas, man, because they're going through it. We had Black femininity on the show in the past. She's in Texas and she was having issues. I've been in contact with her. So also, I got family out there. Shout out to my cousin Malaysia, Stacy, all y'all in the Dallas area. It's hitting the whole state. So we just want to send our prayers out to anyone. If you can help out, just look up charities. I seen a dope article on New York Magazine that had about 26 charities that you could donate to that are local. So yeah, if you can do anything, do what you can. Although, I don't know how much they need food out there. They need water. So there are those things, but man, that cold, I don't know how they could shake that. I'm just, all we could do is pray at some point. But yeah, sorry, I just wanted to take a moment out for that just because we've had some people that's been affected literally on this show. So man, prayers out to Texas folks.
Yeah, y'all. At least see what y'all can do. If y'all can't physically like give or donate or whatever, at least check on somebody. Make sure
check on somebody. Yeah. I feel bad because I checked on my family I hadn't talked to in a long time, but I'm like, at least I'm gonna just reach out. At least they know that I care at this time. But yeah, man, it's just teaches a lesson to always, just always stay up with your people. Just always stay up. But yeah, especially those in need. But you want to get into these biopics?
Yeah. You want me to go first or you want to go first?
Let me see what you got, man, because I'm interested. I already know obviously I know my list, so I know where I'm starting. I want to see where you're coming from.
All right, I'm going to tell you most of these are, of course, music related, but my number 5 is Rocket Man, the story of Elton John, featuring Taggart Eaton. I think that's his name, whatever. Taggart Eaton. Yeah, I was not expecting this movie to be as good as it was, but it was actually very, very good.
And this is like 2019, right? When it dropped, it's not too long ago.
18 or 19, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like very recent, but just the topics that they dove into are like some that probably Elton John himself probably didn't really talk about much until this movie. So yeah, it's a lot of that I liked, and the songs were good, the recreation of the music videos were good. I enjoyed the whole thing. So Rocket Man is my number 5.
Sure. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but I did see it on tons of biopic lists. I came at number 5 with Straight Outta Compton. Obviously, this movie had a crazy budget, changed the world, changed hip hop biopics, and we've seen tons come after it because of this budget. And in general, Straight Outta Compton and its budget and its success around the world, it changed a lot of things for the way people viewed hip hop stars and their ability to crush the box office, and that's exactly what they did with this movie. And NWA, although they are heralded as a great rap group, you don't look at like Ice Cube or Dr. Dre like individually as huge stars that could like carry this movie, or you hear their story and they're so influential that you got to go see it. But as NWA as a whole, they did a hell of a job, including DJ Yella, MC Ren, and Eazy-E as well, and all the artists that they portrayed. They all did a great job. My buddy Aldous Hodges in that. And I think that changed the landscape of Black movies, at least in this decade. Every decade there's a movie that does it. And I think, Black Panther and NWA were definitely Straight Outta Compton, were definitely on the bill for that in this decade. So yeah, that was my number 5. Should we keep going?
We can keep going. The only I was gonna put this on my list. The only reason why I didn't is because there are so many other biopics that I would say made for TV that like they can dive more into stuff where sometimes when you do a biopic on like in the theaters, you kind of miss some things, but it was still good nonetheless.
Yeah, this is like the Michael Bay of biopics, right? It's like huge like budget. They had huge like performance venues. And so I think the budget is what made it end up on my list. But I will agree like that, there's some things to be desired as far as the storytelling and the acting. But in general, it's pretty good in general.
Okay. My number 4 is actually this movie I love a lot, which honestly, this could almost make my number 1, but it's at my number 4 for right now. And it's called The Founder. The Founder is about Ray Kroc and McDonald's and the
oh yeah, that was dope.
The swindling of McDonald's. Pretty good.
No, that movie is dope. I ain't mad at you for having that on your list. That was a dope movie.
So like initially, I wouldn't even watch a movie called The Founder, but like I was like, it's Michael Keaton and it's about McDonald's. I think the first time I seen it, I was like, okay, that's good. And then I watched it maybe 6 times all the way through. And then other times, of course, I watch it, I skip through, but probably watched it all the way through 6 times. And it's just a good story. And I never really want McDonald's, but after I seen it the first time, I was like, maybe I should try McDonald's. So
wait, you never tried McDonald's before the movie?
No, I've tried McDonald's, but I'm not like, yeah, let's go to McDonald's. I'm not like let's go to McDonald's person. But after this movie, I was like, maybe I should try McDonald's today because they kind of make you want.
They sold you, huh? It's crazy. Oh yeah, that movie. It takes place not too far. I think the setting is in like San Bernardino, California, which is I'm in San Bernardino County now. So it opened my eyes a lot to the industry around here and just how what you could do with cars, man, how cars changed the world. And they took advantage of just that whole culture. And that story is dope, though. That story is super crazy. And it shows you a different side of McDonald's that some people didn't know about, that they were really in the real estate industry, right? And not in the business industry or the restaurant industry. They sold service, which was it's similar to Amazon, which is crazy. But they really revolutionized business at the time, and that movie really captured it. So yeah, that's a good pick. Dope pick.
Yeah. What's your number 4?
My number 4, I have man, and this one, this is already getting crazy. This could have been at my number 1 too. It's Ray, Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
Jamie Foxx. I mean, and I'm probably going to say this a couple times with some of the movies that are coming up. This, it feels, when you see a movie like this, it makes you feel like you always knew the story of Ray Charles, and it just puts a face to a name and a persona in a different way. Because obviously we know who Ray Charles is. We've all seen him with the, playing piano with his glasses on, basically. But when we get to see him, filling on women's wrists and how he treated his bandmates and the sacrifices he did and how he revolutionized the game, because Stevie Wonder, I think, takes a little bit of the shine because they was just both blind and didn't play piano. So it's easy
and also Stevie Wonder started from like age 9. Mm-hmm. So he was like on TV signed at age 9. So
Right. He was
that's
like a real phenomenon already outside of being blind, just being young.
mm-hmm.
Uh, and then where Ray Charles, you know, he had a lot more at that age. He was going through a lot, and we seen that through from his movie that he was just losing his eyesight and he was losing his parents and doing things like that. So I'll never forget that story and the way Jamie Foxx portrayed it. It's going to be forever etched in my mind as like a story of our ancestors. So yeah, Ray would be my number 4.
Okay. Well, we breezing right on through this. My
Mm-hmm.
number 3 is a newer one. Speaking of new, it is New Edition.
Oh, I
Thought it
almost
was.
I almost
See,
forgot about that. I did. Look.
I just want to say it was so well done, from the actual outfits, so the performances, to the actual moves, to the actual people that kind of look and act like the members of the group, and yeah, just a lot of stuff about this movie that I really really liked, especially being a fan. And yeah, it showed the ups and downs in the middle of New Edition, and I enjoyed it. If I had one nitpick, probably be part. They had 3 parts, of course, and part 3 seems a little rushed. That's probably my only gripe I got about it. But
What
everything else
happens
is
in part 3? Is that after Bobby and Whitney's in the house and all? Is it like later on that part?
well. Part 3, see, part 3 starts in 1990 and goes all the way to 2005. But like the way that they do it, it's like they could have put some of that in part 2 and then made it move better in part 3. But it was like 1990, 96, 2000,
Yeah,
and
yeah, okay.
2004.
They
So
did the super jumps, yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, I love young Bobby in that one. I thought he was dope, and I liked all the characters, like from super young to the middle, and then you know, we seen them continue to grow. But and I love Johnny Gill in that when he came in. It was like a dope elements. Yeah, they and the casting was amazing for that. So yeah, I almost forgot about that. I don't think it would have made my top 5 based on my list, but that is a dope ad. Dope ad. So at number 3, I got an all-time classic. And this is like the biopics of biopics. In fact, you won't even it's hard to even believe this is actually a true story about 2 people, but this is What's Love Got to Do with It. Oh,
Okay.
but yeah, Angela Bassett killing it as Tina Turner. And then we got whoever was playing Ike. That was
Lawrence
just Ike.
Fishburne, right?
Oh, it was Lauren. Oh, look, I'm tripping. You know what? I got Ike's real face in my head. That's why, because he looks striking as well. But yeah, it was Lawrence Fishburne whipping Annie Mae up and down the limo and in and out the studios and dragging her down the hallway and all that. Like, very hard to believe that this is a true story, but it's definitely a biopic. It's one of the best movies that I saw growing up, and it's definitely, you know, it hits on all kind of generations. The young people are gonna, well, at least from that time, the old people are sitting down watching this with the young kids, even though they was not supposed to be watching Annie Mae getting beat up, kicking and screaming and fighting back. We wasn't supposed to be watching that, but for some reason they thought it was okay to put us through it. And we watched this for generations and for years. And I haven't watched it recently, but it still leaves a crazy impact on, you know, anime. You know, you already know that Lawrence Fishburne was putting it down in this one.
I think, even though, because a lot of people say that they don't look like each other, but I still think Angela Bassett got the essence of Tina Turner.
I'm sure it is. Look, she knew how to, you know, she put in the work. I don't necessarily think they looked the same, but like you said, she captured the essence. Same thing with Lawrence Fishburne. He doesn't look like Ike at all. But he had that demeanor. If you ever see a picture of Ike, he got a stone cold face, and Larry Fishburne definitely pulled that one off in this one. I called him by his old school name, Larry.
My number 2 might be shocking that it's not number 1, because it's number 1 for some people. My number 2 is The Jacksons and American Dream.
Higher. Look. You already know what it. You already know it's where it's at. It's number one on mine. But go ahead. You want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about it now or talk about it next?
Now we can wait. We can wait.
Yep, yep. So I'll just get
So what's your
to my
number
number two is the Malcolm X
two?
story.
Okay.
Denzel Washington. This is this might be Spike Lee's best joint, just because of the length of the film, the budget. I mean, they was going across countries. They had tons of people in those scenes, and I think it was India or wherever Malcolm went to go find himself. He had tons of people in these speeches that Malcolm was giving, and he just had a big budget, and so I think it reflected in the vastness of the film. And then when you have obviously Denzel Washington, who completely transforms himself to actually become what some people would recognize as Malcolm X. Like some people just think
Mm-hmm.
of Denzel Washington. So I think that his performance is not to be questioned at all. And then Denzel, he's great because it shows his transformation, but from Malcolm Little to Malcolm X. He's a hustler in the beginning, and Denzel does that with ease. But then he also becomes the stand-up guy, and the very intelligible man, and Denzel does that just as well. So he was the perfect casting, and he really carried the movie. I mean, Angela Bassett is in this one as well. And so, whenever it's a Spike Lee joint, he's gonna come with the real. And man, this is just class. Everyone's parents has made them throw this. They just threw it on in my era. You had to throw on watch Malcolm X on a Saturday morning. Everybody had that. I think it was a double tape, so I remember that too as well. But yeah, man, number two on my list, Malcolm X. All right, so yeah, that was my number two. I mean, you already know my number one, but we got to get into the honorable mentions first. So,
Uh-huh.
what did you got that didn't make your list?
Uh, I got Bohemian Rhapsody actually, a Queen movie.
That was dope.
It was. I will say it was fun. It was well done. Some people call it a sing along. I don't care. I was singing along, and the ending was a little bit rushed, but I understand why they did it, how they did it. Um, Tyson. I
Ooh,
honestly I never seen Tyson until when he fought Roy Jones. I was like, I guess the movie would just call him my name. It was like Flash, like Tyson, Tyson, Tyson. So I went in and watched that. So I thought that was pretty solid. I got Malcolm X on mine too, and I got Ray, my honorable mentions, and I got Ali, a movie with Will Smith,
that's strong
and
too.
then
Yeah.
yeah, and then the last one on my list is the Bobby Brown story because I can't be biased, but Bobby Brown story is I thought it was pretty good, well done.
Wait, is that a made for TV? Did that come out after New Edition?
Yeah, it came
Okay.
out same actor, but about Bobby,
Yeah, I think I saw.
Bobby and
I
Whitney
didn't
and his
see.
kid.
I don't know if I saw the whole thing, but yeah. But I like that actor as Bobby though in general,
Yeah,
and the
Will,
and the young Bobby too. Yeah, I like both of them. And oh no, you brought up a great point too with Ali, man. I mean, Will Smith did a hell of a job portraying Ali, like getting his voice cadence down and rapping and talking, and I like the way he really transformed for that one. So that definitely could have made my list. Some movies that I didn't realize were actually biopics or biopics. Schindler's List. Well, obviously we know that, but I didn't know it was all based on. They call it a biopic. I didn't know it was all based on real events. And the same thing with Goodfellas. Obviously, yeah, we know these are based on real events, but on the list that I saw, they were called biopics, and like I never really thought of them that way. But Goodfellas is always like one of my top movies in general. And so it was hard not to put it on my top five, but just straight out of Compton, took the number five. I had Elephant Man, Aaron Brockovich, which was a crazy movie in the 90s. Recently, Judas and the Black Messiah, that's a biopic. You guys heard us discuss that earlier. And then, it's crazy. A certain group of people, I think, that don't get biopics as often as they should, but could, are basketball players, and I think it's because their height and
Oh, hold on. Where you going with this one now?
that we need a Kobe biopic.
Phew. Look, no, I thought you was gonna put Michael Jordan's biopic on this list. I was about to say.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, but does he have? He doesn't have a. Does he have a biopic?
Yes, he does.
Oh, see, look, I haven't seen that one.
It's
I was gonna say,
like,
it's not called Space Jam, is it?
No, it's called Jordan. I think his is called Jordan American Dream too, I believe. But I gotta take this. I gotta look this one up. It's called Michael Jordan and American Hero. It's a biopic. Like, it's not Jordan in it, just like people pretending to be him, and it's probably trash.
Yeah, and that's probably why like we don't see basketball players getting biopics that often. I would want to see a Kobe biopic one day, but it'll it's going to be hella hard to get a person that's looks tall, plays basketball, because they would have to be able to play and then can act. It's just very difficult. What they did obviously with with Ray Allen back in the day in a Spike Lee joint on He Got Game, it wasn't a biopic, but and he didn't act that well either. So I think that kind of just proves the point that it's just hard to find basketball players that look like they can act. But I bring that up to discuss a biopic that did come out called Final Shot. It's about Hank Gathers, who passes away in an LMU game. He was like touted to go to the NBA and obviously didn't make it because he passed away. But
is that what Marlon, or is that a different one I'm thinking about? I
think it's different. Yeah, it's not Marlon, but it's a guy that looks kind of like a Marlon looking haircut, and he's been in some other movies. It came out in '92. He looks much older than a college student. Like this guy, he's a mature actor playing like 16 years old, and it looks crazy. It don't look right, but the movie, it taught me, the Hank Gather story, which I would have never heard. So yeah, that was one basketball biopic that was actually dope. I want to say it was a TV movie, but you guys should go check that out if you haven't. The Hank Gather story called Final Shot. He dies on the look. I just told I'm gonna spoil the end. He dies on the court, y'all. Look.
I think why some basketball biopics don't work is because they don't have official licensing, and when they don't have official licensing, sometimes it's just like, why even watch it? Why even do it if you can't have the official like team logos and all that?
Yes. Including on music biopics. If you don't have the official licensing, Aaliyah, Wendy Williams, don't do it. Just don't do it, because it ain't right. It's not right to the family, and it's not right for the consumers. We don't want to see that. We don't want to hear them remaking 1 in a Million. Like, come on, 1 in 1,000. What is that? I ain't never heard 1 in 1,000 on my radio. But yeah, man. So that's all the honorable mentions I pretty much had. Do you have any else? I think we could just.
Let's see. I got 42. By the way, can't forget Chadwick. 42.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Jackie Robinson.
That was dope.
And I had one more, but I forgot it. So I guess we just go on. Since we already know your number one, I guess we can get on your number one, and then my number one, I guess, can be last.
Yeah, we could do that. So. We could do that. I mean, since you already let the cat out the bag, but yeah, number one, the Jackson Story, An American Dream. I hope is that the official title of Jackson Story?
The Jacksons and American Dream. Yeah.
The Jacksons and American Dream. Probably, I mean, as far as iconic movies, this is already like in a top 5 somewhere. Just as in top 5 nostalgia movies of all time for a lot of people, if you are at all familiar with watching this on TV. But in as a biopic, I mean, this is the story that everybody wants to know. And they have how many parts is this? 3? 2?
It's actually 2 parts, but
it's just 2 parts. It's just long as hell. It's like 6 hours though.
It's like 4 hours.
Yeah, in today's standards, it probably would have been 3 or 4 parts. They probably would have split it up an hour each and cut it up week by week. Because this movie, it just piles on and piles on and piles on. It gets better as it goes, and it really teaches you about all the eras of Mike. As he was with the Jackson 5, because there's a whole nother story of Mike outside of Jackson 5, but just learning about the decades that led up to Mike before he became the huge solo artist. and all the trials and tribulations that he went through and overcame coming from Gary, Indiana. I mean, it's a story that's literally etched in the fabric of America, and this movie tells it the best out of any that I've seen. I mean, I don't know if there's any other Mike. There's no other Mike movies that are compared to this one. I don't think.
Oh no,
No.
not that compared to this. I mean, we had a discussion a couple
We
weeks ago.
did, yeah. Brian, lucky he's not
I'm
here.
calling him
Yeah,
out. Brian said that Flex Alexander was the best Michael Jackson, which I totally disagree with. I say Willie Draper is the older Mike in this movie. I think he probably was the best Mike because he looked like him and didn't sound like him and can dance like him. Jason Weaver was good too, playing Little Mike, but yeah, Brian, we calling you out. Flex ain't no good Michael Jackson.
Hell no. But I didn't know the actor's name until you guys got into that discussion on your birthday Zoom, and I went and looked him up. I'm like, oh yeah, duh, from American Dream. He's the man. Like this is the guy, and it's almost the same as what we saw with Denzel and Malcolm X, like where he almost became Mike from that era, especially since Mike changed how he looked. Now we just look at his face and we're like, that's Mike. So whenever you have that feeling, you already know it's a good biopic.
Also, I want to say I think they should at least try to do a big budget, newer Mike movie, and then have it in that his 35th celebration or something. Since they like to end it on a performance, I think they could end it on that. But come on, you can't tell me Michael touring and changing his face and all that during these times, all these songs. I mean, that'd be a great biopic, but I guess people
it's
not
gonna
going to do it.
It's gonna be up to the family and the politics, but yeah, there's definitely I think another Mike biopic coming. Maybe it might not be for a long time, but it'll come. Yeah, it'll come.
I think they should do it right though, not like have it where they performing that you only see the stage. And you, I want it to be like actual I want it to look like it. I wanted to spend money on it. So yeah. Anyways, though, we get to my number one, which I'm surprised that I ain't hear you talk about this at all.
Look, I'm gonna be mad because I probably didn't forget.
You probably did. Is the Temptations? I mean,
oh no, I didn't forget. No.
Oh wow, whatever, man. Look.
Nah, I loved it, man. I loved it, but it was I don't know. It just I didn't want to. Sorry, bro. I didn't want to step on your number one, but Straight Outta Compton, bro, was way bigger.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, this movie got more of a nostalgia thing. It came out in '98.
Absolutely.
But this movie is a classic. Everybody watched this movie. Everybody, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. A lot of people know these lines. This is it's not even a hood classic. It's just a classic. This is my second favorite movie ever. Hey,
see, it's not quite there for me, but I do it. You learn the story though, because I'm not as big as a Temptation fan as you, so I didn't know the story of how they met and everything. But after watching it, you can literally tell the whole story, in order, and it becomes an American Tale. So I will agree that it's a 100% classic movie, classic story, made for TV, and they, with multiple parts. And the casting is on point as well from not only the Temptations, but the other surround.
Well, now yeah.
I would say the surrounding acts too were pretty dope. Like the Berry Gordy's, the Supremes, and to those the surrounding acts were pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just giving you a hard time. I didn't want to put it in my honorable mentions. It definitely would have been in my honorable mentions. So I did think about it, but. I'm just 5 Heartbeats kind of guy, man. I'm always there with 5 Heartbeats, and so I'm rocking. We got to do that. We got to do that soon. That versus.
Okay. Yeah, this movie is like a fantastic movie, and it's all quotable. Everybody can quote these movies. Everybody know. And I just some of the things is I love this movie. I do have a little bit of gripe with it, the person that played Otis don't look like Otis. And I think the only person that really looked like their character is David Ruffin and Leon. Yeah. And then and maybe Taryn Brooks that played Eddie Kendricks. Them two that mainly look like the people. The other people they don't look like them, but they more, I guess, you feel their essence. When you are a fan like me, you love the movie, but it's still upsetting, like because of what they could have
Otis
did.
definitely did not look like Otis though. Like just his
Yeah,
whole face and
not
Otis
even
would
the
look
same color.
taller. Yeah,
Not even the same
everything.
skin color. The skin
You could
tone.
just look at them. The hair, everything just did not really match up.
This man got the nerve to come to Leon and say, "I want you to play me." What? I'm not gonna get there, but yeah, this man wanted Leon to play Otis, and knowing he looked exactly like David Ruffin's twin,
Exactly.
almost.
Yeah.
But
Dead on.
I don't know. I guess with me being such a big fan, they could have did more on it. Not more on it, but like they could have, in the movie they only talk about the main five and barely the sixth one. The sixth one was like almost bigger, if not the biggest part of the whole group. But I'm not gonna go deep into it because I'm gonna be reserved.
But y'all, thank you guys for tuning in and enjoying the episode. Prime, any last thoughts on biopics before we get out of here? Because unfortunately, my kids is calling me. They just waiting.
I just want to say, if somebody out there can make a great biopic, then do it.
Look, I want to play in it. Look, I'm coming back to acting. If it's in a period piece, biopics, especially if I get to dance, sing a little bit. Look, I'm there. Call your boy up. Look,
we need a Pryor or an Eddie or something.
Okay.
So yeah, we need one of them.
Okay. Look, I want to see something crazy like Mr. T, something wild.
Oh, Rick James, then. You want something wild? Rick James right there.
There you go.
Crazy.
That's gonna be the one.
It's final word right there. All I got to say. Follow us. Follow Leeboy at Leeboy TV and LeeboyTV.com, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Follow me at KVNG Primetime. Follow the podcast at Prime Nostalgia Pod and P Nostalgia Pod, and check us out wherever you listen to your podcast on this app, especially since you're on this app or you're watching on YouTube. And Primetime is all the time.
All the time, baby.